Please join me in welcoming our defending champion, Matt Fitzpatrick. Matt, how does it feel to be back at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's I just can't believe it's been a year already. It's just gone so fast, and to kind of look around and remember that all this build-up was the same at Brookline. It's just very, very odd.
You had a chance to come out to LACC, I believe, in February. Talk a little bit about the course and what you've seen maybe this week so far in your few hours here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I've not been out and seen the course yet, but February, I think it was a little bit different. I don't think the rough had grown in yet. I think obviously now it's a little bit thicker. But from the pictures I've seen, it looks fantastic. It looks in great shape, and I'm excited to see it tomorrow.
You had to, at least for now, say goodbye to the trophy. Talk quickly about returning it and maybe anything fun you did with it over the last year.
I was so sad about that. Yeah, I didn't feel like I spent enough time with it really. But no, literally probably like the month after, right after the Open, after St Andrews, I went on holiday to Italy with some friends. So yeah, I took it there for a week. That's about as exciting as it got.
All right, we're going to open it up to questions.
I know you answered the question about being here in February. Is there other resources that you have for a game plan for a golf course maybe that you haven't played too many times to get ready for what could be 4 days of golf?
No, unfortunately not. I guess in this day and age, you'd like to think there might be some artificial intelligence you could use to kind of plot your way around, I guess, but that's probably something I'd have to look into. I mean, I spoke to Eduardo Molinari this morning about any questions that I might have. He's going to try and have a look and see what he thinks and give me the best information he can. So that's probably the only thing that I would probably go to.
Right here on your right.
Hi there. Could you talk about your thoughts on the LIV PGA merger and whether or not whether or not you're keeping you and other golfers are keeping your options open legally as far as that goes?
I'll be completely honest. I literally know as much as you. So I'm sure everyone's got 1,000,001 questions about it. I found out when everyone else found out, and honestly, I know literally nothing. So yeah.
Right here to Brentley.
I guess I have two questions. One is kind of a piggyback off of that. Do you feel less or more confused about that whole situation this year than this time last year at this tournament? Or less uncertainty?
I guess. Yeah, the whole thing's confusing. I guess it was confusing last year. I seem to remember just last year just thinking about the tournament, though, just US Open. I think it was obviously different because I had the tie to the golf course and the history there, so probably was easier for me to mentally focus on that and be in a better place than obviously all this confusion that's going on this week. But I guess the whole thing's just it is confusing, yeah.
And then my actual question, I know you haven't seen the course in these kind of conditions yet, but 15 potentially on Saturday could play 78 yards. Is that interesting to you? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's amazing. I know there's par threes here that are 293 yards, I think. Might be able to play a bit longer. I don't know the ins and outs. So, no, well, I would argue that at 78 yards, stood there with a lob wedge in your hand, you're going to be a little bit more intimidated than stood there with a 3-wood in your hand. I would probably say that's pretty truthful amongst everyone in the field. I imagine that the target's going to be very small, and you're going to have to hit a good shot. So, I think we need more short par threes that are challenging. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
On your right, Alex.
Yeah. Matthew, the trophy in Italy, where did it go in Italy?
It went a few places, actually. We were on a boat, so to Capri, Amalfi, Positano. Yeah, it had a nice few day trips out. Yeah.
Okay, and then last year, your preparation was kind of focused on U.S. Open. You did some things. Can you talk about this year's preparation, and is it different at all?
Yeah, this year is, I would say, quite a bit different. I feel like the start of the year, I had a good, obviously, first event in Hawaii and then got injured. And that kind of felt like it set me back quite a bit for February and March. Ended up obviously playing well in April. And I feel like my game's kind of getting in the right place. I mean, you asked me at Memorial after round 1 or 2, I think, if I was trending. I certainly felt like Memorial and last week that I was playing some good golf. I didn't necessarily score too well last week, but again, I had a slight flare up on the Friday afternoon with my neck. So I definitely feel like my game's in better shape, but I certainly don't think it's as good as it was last year.
We've got.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't technically neck. It felt like that, but it was more kind of just effectively just between my shoulder blades, really. It just purely like muscle tightness that obviously feels worse than it was. So got some work done on it, and it was better. Obviously, allowed me to compete.
One here from the WebEx. How's your relationship with Billy doing now that Leeds has been relegated and Sheffield United has gotten promoted?
Yeah, he's been crying about it for a while now. So yeah, we're still fine for now, but yeah, it'll be a test once the season starts again, I think.
Here on the left, Bill.
You used the word confusing a couple of times already now. What about the current situation in golf is most confusing to you?
Well, I think that I just don't know what's going on. I think that's, I don't think anyone knows what's going on. Are we signing with the PIF? Are we not signing with the PIF? I've no idea. So even though I guess it is confusing, it's pretty clear that nobody knows what's going on apart from about 4 people in the world. So.
Just to kind of follow up on that, do you feel like you should be compensated for not going to LIV?
Good.
Yeah, I'll answer. Yeah, pass.
Any other questions?
Right,
From
Matt, another one on talking to your peers over the last week or since it started. Is it the same? Is it everybody have the same kind of questions? Is everybody in the same position you're in, is being confused and so uncertain and wondering what's going on with everybody on the tour?
I think it's been asked and answered. So we're going to move on to U.S. Open topics. Right back here.
Hi, Matt. Can you tell us about the impact winning your first major has had on your mentality and how you manage that week to week, good or bad, having obviously a more natural, higher expectation of yourself?
Yeah, I think it's obviously been a huge confidence boost. I think for me, winning last year gave me the boost that when I play my best or when I play well, I can compete with anyone and I can win a major. So I think that was the biggest thing for me to take away, turning up to events, that knowing that, okay, my game feels in good shape, I've got a chance to win this week. Whereas maybe previously I've almost felt like I've played well and not necessarily competed in majors, and whereas now I definitely feel like it's kind of the opposite. As long as my game's there or thereabouts, I feel like I can perform.
Because prior to that, would you turn up to majors thinking, I feel like I've got a really good chance of winning, or was it more getting in contention, and now it's more I can win at every major?
Definitely, it was more about trying to get in contention, just putting myself in that position, giving myself a chance. Just I wouldn't necessarily say I felt like my best golf could compete with some of the guys out here. I know I had conversations with my coaches about that, about what I needed to improve, what guys did that I didn't. But certainly after last year, I feel like I can compete. So
Here on the right.
You shared a little bit of insight of the short par 3 and the possibilities of the emotions going into that. What about some of the other holes here on this course and where you think it's a little more scoreable? Can you shed a little light on what your game plan is with some of those holes?
Yeah, I mean, I played it 2018. Can't really remember too much about it. I did walk it the Sunday of Riv again without playing, it's kind of hard to remember. But I couldn't really give you any insight into that. So yeah, sorry.
We're going to go to Doug on the right.
Two things for you, Matt. With all this stuff going on in golf, can that be a distraction when you play a major, or is that stuff overrated?
No, I think it's overrated. I think, you know, you're not going to be stood on the first tee thinking, oh, what's going on in the golf world? You know, you're thinking, okay, it's a par 4. Where do I need to hit it? Where's the wind? That's all you're thinking about. So.
And secondly, golf was headed. This is about, you know, prior to a week ago. Golf was headed to a big divisive issue over the rollback of the ball. Where does that stand right now? Where do you think it should stand with everything going on? And do you have an opinion on it?
Yeah, I think my opinion is if you're gonna roll the ball back, I think just do it for everyone. So everyone's playing the same ball, and if it's going 30 yards shorter, then great, whatever. I just don't think you should have a ball for the pros that might be used some tournaments, might not be used some tournaments. Then amateurs can buy different golf balls. I don't think that would work. So that would be my opinion. So if they roll it back, great. If they don't roll it back, also great. I'm kind of there. I think you've got to either just go all in for everyone, or not.
Should the timeline and process continue, or is this a bad time for it?
Yeah, I guess. I think, you know, I think they just need to do testing, and I you know, it's not my role. I don't understand the ins and outs, but I don't understand why they can't just be like, well, we've done a bunch of testing with this shorter ball and it looks great, we're doing it, or not. You know, I don't understand why it's not that straightforward, but that's why I'm not doing that job.
Any other questions for Matt?
Hi,
All right.
Matt. What clubs are working for you right now, and do you expect those clubs to translate into this weekend?
I felt like my approach play has been decent after the last few weeks. I feel like from my memory, this is a golf course that's going to be important for second shots, and you know, hopefully can continue the trend of where I feel like my game's at with those clubs. So.
Back to Doug on the right.
I know you haven't seen it now, but it is a bit drier and faster. From what you know of the course, how fast of a course is this from a pace of play standpoint?
No idea. I think it'll be slow. I think the long par 3s tend to screw that one up. I would say, yeah, I'd probably say it's 5 hours every week, so it'd be nothing new here, I imagine.
We're going to go to Michael on the left.
Thank you. Rules question. How do you feel about the rule by which players and caddies cannot share information about clubs, what club they hit?
I mean, guys come over to my bag to look at what club I've taken out. I go over to their bag, caddies go to their bag, caddies come to my bag. That's the way the game works. Like, you know, even though sometimes it's picked up on TV, it's, you know, everyone does it. And they'd be lying if they said that they didn't.
That part's all legal, and then if you actually say it, it's different. So how do you feel about that distinction?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I don't want Billy saying that we've hit 4 or 5. Like, I don't agree with that. At the end of the day, you know, I've got a lot of friends out here that I play with. I'm still trying to beat them. They're trying to beat me. So you don't want to be giving them advice, but at the same time, it's glaringly obvious they can take 10 steps to the right and be like, oh, he's hit a 4 iron or a 5 iron. So I think it's pretty tough to marshal effectively.
Great. Well, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.